Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of X4, the beginner's guide, and today we're going to discuss a little issue that was brought up to me by somebody who recently joined the Discord. So thank you very much to them for bringing it up for me, because even I missed it. And if you notice recently, I've been talking about how to get your mining ships and your trading ships getting going like at the beginning of your game, and obviously up until recently that's been no problems. However, we've kind of stumbled into a little bit of an issue with trading, and that is the distribute words now requires 2 stars. Now I do try and keep up with updates. Now I didn't see anything on this, which is a little concerning because it certainly wasn't there when we were doing the earlier episodes, but it is there now, and that obviously causes a major problem with trading. So how do we get about without that issue? With that issue being there now, what do we do to get around it? Now, there are a couple of things we can do. I've kind of tried to do this guide so that if you want to do trading, then you know how to do it from this point of view. Don't forget, you can do the trading yourself through, buying your own ship and going doing it in the exact same way you would do with your NPCs, except obviously when you visit a station, you'd then apply your gathering of trade from your perspective rather than from the map perspective. So there is that option to do it face to face, so to speak, and that's very easily done. Everywhere you go, you've got the option. Even when you're outside the station, if we bring it back here, you've got this menu here, which is, for me, pressing enter, and it gives you this option. And if you're in a ship, you'll have transfer words or trade, and obviously that trades into your ship. You can choose which ship you want to pick from the drop down menu there, and obviously it tells you where you're buying from, and it's exactly the same as it would be if you were doing a manual trade. So there is that option to do. Obviously, if you've already got a trader, and it's a decent trader and you don't really want to sell it, or it's just sat there with a captain that doesn't even have 1 star, the likelihood is it's going to be sat there for some time. So your first option is to do it yourself, and that option is always available for those of you who'd rather do it yourself. But obviously I'm kind of going from the map point of view, because then obviously everything you know from the map can be transferred to you doing it yourself, and that's why I tend to go that way. I know a few people have said, yeah, you can do it all yourself and you can go around and do all these trading, these mining and everything like that. You certainly can. However, from this point of view, you can get a kind of tie-in for every point of view. So that's your first option. Our second option, obviously we've discussed in the past, is we can do it manually via ship to stations and delivering stuff like that. And that option is sometimes a little bit better, but can sometimes trap you, because obviously when you're purchasing wares, you're not getting you're getting up to date from the point you're purchasing it. And it's speculation here, but what I'm speculating is when when a trading ship picks up on a trade that is requested from a station, it locks that trade in at that price. So then when it goes to pick up from one station, it gets it from the price it's picked up at, and then delivers them wares at that price. When you're doing it yourself, you're going somewhere, you're picking it up, and the trade prices fluctuate. Now that sometimes can help you, because obviously you can go ahead and trade at a higher price somewhere else, but sometimes it can fall you where you get all the way there and the cost has dropped and you're losing a little bit of money. 9 times out of 10 you can use the offset cost, which is decent. There are alternatives to doing even that, so you don't need to worry about sending your trading ships everywhere. The first thing we covered was mining, and the reason why we covered mining is because if we look at anything, so if we go to properties owned, we go to our large miner here just because we can. What are you doing? You're docking, so you're probably selling some stuff now. Oh yeah, full capacity, so you're almost full of capacity there. And you're actually not selling everything, so it looks like the station may not be requiring everything. Now that could be because there's 2 silicon refineries here. Let's have a look. While we're here, we may as well have a look. Yeah, so you're almost full. So, bear that in mind when you come to using your miners, that sometimes places get full. But he will probably try and sell his stuff at a different station. So I don't know if there is another one here. Certainly an ore refinery. Not sure. We'll discuss that in a second. But if we go to here and we go to our behavior, Sector Auto Mine requires 0 stars. The next jump up is advanced auto mine, which is a little bit better for us, but it requires 3 stars. What we can do is, like I showed you in the transferring of crew to ships to increase your stars, is we can place crews on larger mining ships. So instead of doing the trading side of things, so we can leave the trading side of things off completely and just go down mining. We can build up our cash flow until we have enough for a large miner. We can then get a bigger crew with that large miner, and then that one large miner. So I built 3. You don't need to build 3, you can just build the 1, and you can maximize it to its greatest potential, and then put it in a system that's going to require more resources than anything. Now, Argon Prime's perfect for something like this because obviously they've got the 2 shipyards. It's going to need ore, it's going to need hull parts, you know, so it's going to use all that ore quickly. I know why this ship's full and not really doing much is because it was the Spurs ship that I had that I just popped onto Silicon just for the time being. Bringing in a little bit of money, nothing major, but I'm not worried about it. I've just let it tick over because even though he's only doing a small amount of stuff, he's still gaining experience for his crew, which is the reason why it's set to that. It just came to me then. So, back to what we want to do. Sector Auto Mine, a large miner, full of crew. Souped up so it's got every kind of ability available to itself. You know, your docking, Mark II computers. You know, it's going to have its cargo drones. It's going to have its mining drones. It should be a lot faster than it would be in a smaller or medium miner. Sometimes that's not the case, and sometimes it does struggle to dock. If you struggle to dock a large ship, pull it out of the station manually, clear its orders that you've got, and then either manually tell it to dock and trade, or let the auto behavior, the default behavior, kick back in and it will attempt to dock again, and hopefully it'll clear from the system. I have had it where a large miner has been stuck there for an entire gameplay series and I've never been able to get it stuck removed, and then one day I just decided, you know what, I'm going to jump on that ship and I'm going to move it myself. I moved it myself, and then the next time it got stuck again. Sometimes you do just get stuck. In that case, just sell it. You know, you've got at this stage, what, we've got 5 mining ships at least. You know, missing 1 isn't going to be a major deal. You're going to make that money back plenty of time. Plus, you'll make a bit of money back from selling it as well. Yes, you've lost money, but you should be on the plus side now. So you're using your miner as a skills factory for your crew. Again, you can use the seminars for the current captain. And then once that current captain is up to a level enough, which is 2 stars, which shouldn't take too long, you can then put him inside one of your freighters and get that 2-star distribute wares, getting around the trade side of things. Well, I will say, and this is my personal opinion, trading isn't the way to go at first. Mining is the way to go at first, or if you want to, going around you know, areas where there's a lot of combat and gaining stuff from there, and then selling it. Well, be careful because obviously some of the stuff you'll pick up is technically illegal in some of the sectors. So if the police scan you, they will attack you if you don't drop your wares. So, you know, it's one of them things. But there's plenty of options for you. Personally, I'd go mining first. Build up your mining fleet. Have you at least 3 sectors where you are mining perfectly, as in you are not having to intervene. Have it in areas that are less kind of battle orientated, so you know, where the Xenon aren't raiding all the time, somewhere where you can just leave them be and forget about them. You can then go on to doing the other stuff that I've been talking about. If you want to build up a trading fleet, you can do. Sometimes you'll pull a decent level of fleet and you'll be fine. You know, and you know, no issues whatsoever, and you can carry on doing this distribute wares and hopefully go into auto trading. However, there is a 4th alternative, and that is building a mining ship, a trading ship, leaving it in your station, and then if you drop back down, you'll notice everybody here that is available to you has these little symbols. So we can talk to this person here.
Hello there.
You can hire them, but it'll give you the stars right here. Bear in mind, it's... Sorry, we don't want you because you're mainly management. Bear in mind, it's an effect of all of your crew. So if you get a 3-star here, and the rest of your crew is 0 stars, it will drop down the average, which can cause you a problem, but it doesn't drop it down too much. But you can head to your dock, which we'll head to the dock now. Not doing that. There we go. Ship dealership. You can come out here. You'll see people about. They'll be on, stations and stuff like that. Talk to them. You don't need to talk to them to find out what their stars are. If you just hover over them, you can see it gives you their stars. Remember, the things you want for your crew is morale and piloting. It's just a case of wandering around looking for a decent crewman. They are everywhere in the station. You don't need to just go here. You can go up to the left there quite easily. And you just keep going around. Nothing there. That doesn't open up. Nobody up here. I did spot one over here. Oh, there's a couple over here. And it's just a case of just checking each one.
Hello.
And you will ultimately find one that has got the stars you require. Oh, yeah, look at piloting and management. Morale's a bit low, so that probably won't give you what you require. Look at this, loads of people here. Different stars for different stuff. The Marines. Piloting morale, look at that, perfect. So we can talk to them. We can hire them. They are expensive. And then we can tell them to go on to a certain ship. Now, we only have our elite vanguard here. Select him. Select role. Service crew. Hiya.
I hope I live up to your expectations.
Obviously for me, the elite vanguard was the only ship I had on this station. However... Oh, the Mercury vanguard was there. I missed that one. Oh, okay, it's in internal storage. Okay, yeah, so it's not ready for launching.
Oh. Elite Vanguard.
Let it load in. There we go. I'll just park myself here so we can continue on. Now you've got that higher level of crew member, you can obviously go to your ship, information, crew, replace pilot with best crew member. There we go. You can set their behavior. 2.5 star crew members. So now you can obviously tell them to distribute wares. That is a little bit more of an expensive way, but it solves your problems with your current ships that you've got now. Don't get rid of the crews you have unless you have to, because obviously if you're full up you can't get another crew member. But do it to the ships you do have that are currently on 0 stars or 1 star that you want to set over to distribute wares. Hopefully this has kind of helped you with that distribute ware problem. There's 4 options though that you've got that will hopefully help you. The other thing I want to discuss while we're here is obviously in the last episode we dealt with our space station. Now I showed you obviously setting it up and we'll let it on its way. Let's see where it's at the moment. So at the moment it's expected operation budget, so it can now operate, because if we go to our plan build, it's got some of the modules already completed. So our storage containers are done, our docking modules are done, and our cross section is done. You can tell that because they're all actually coloured like they should be. The one that isn't done is still coloured orange. And you did white as well, because obviously they were white. But they start to look like they should do when they're built. Almost like a blueprint, a projection. You got your projection there, and as it fills it in, it goes into the right colour. The other thing I wanted to discuss though is if you're building it and it stops building. And the reason why I've mentioned this is because I've had it done myself and I'm like, what's going on? I've set everything up, it should be fine. You won't have the account management until you have the main section, so the dock. So ignore that top section there if you're currently stuck and it's not building. This you'll have here. Funds for station construction. So what is here on the left hand side is what you currently have, and underneath says expected construction budget, which is the same as what it was before, but it's now updated because obviously it's either spent more or less money on construction. And as you can see, if we kind of leave that now, it's going to halt, it's going to freeze until it can get the resources at a cheaper price. And you may be in that situation. But double check this first, and I know you need to do is you can either give it higher funds if you want to by sliding that scroller, or you can accept the estimate and it'll increase it for you anyway, so it's got the funds. It will now continue to do it because it's got the funds, but just keep an eye on that until your station is fully built. But we are almost ready to start making money with this station, so hopefully in the next episode we will concentrate on how we can maximise utilities of this station. The other thing I want to discuss as well, a couple of people commented on this, was regarding the plots. So if we go to our manage plots here, we have our 2x2x2, which is actually a 4x4x4. I just say 2x2 because they're all 2s. The one thing I did mention, and somebody did rightfully point me out for it because my maths was absolutely terrible, is if I doubled what the directions are, it doesn't double the size. It actually makes it a lot bigger, which obviously increases the cost. For some reason, I don't know why I mentioned that it just doubled in size, and I didn't understand why it didn't double in cost, because it doesn't double in size, it doubles quite considerably. So thank you very much to the person who did comment on that. I think my maths was out that day. But for us, it's just a pointer to remember. Obviously, in the last episode, we struggled with space. We can increase it whenever we want. If we want to. Well, we could do if I chose our Argon Prime factory, which is here. So you can increase it any time. And you can actually see it there on the screen. I think it just moved. Yeah, there you go. So it actually shows you which side is increasing as well. But obviously, if you increase that to 18 out of 20, you've only got 2 out of 20 for the other side. So if you're finding something along the left-hand side here is taking up your space, or you just want to expand one way, just do one side. The other thing I wanted to mention that somebody did ask me was about the fees. Real estate transfer tax. You only have to pay that once. It's not a monthly fee. It's not a fee where you have to pay constantly. You're not taxed on it all the time. You're not taxed on your income or anything like that from the station. It's a one-off fee. The only time you have to increase that is when you increase the size of the station, because obviously you're taking more real estate. So you can buy it. Obviously, if you don't need to touch anything. It will continue doing it as normal, no changes whatsoever. There's a couple of things that people have asked me about over on the Discord or over on the YouTube channel. I hope this has helped you out with the two issues that we've had. If it hasn't, please let me know in the comment section below. And if you want to ask any more questions, or if you want any more information on the game or similar games or anything whatsoever, then feel free to join the Discord below. If I don't know the answer, then I can obviously speak to the devs. If we've got the answer within the Discord, then obviously other people may be able to help you. But hopefully you're kind of set with the changes with the distribute words. I will try and keep an eye out for any other changes in the future, but if you do have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this series, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button as well. I appreciate all of you and all the comments that I get, so hopefully we can continue doing more stuff for those of you who do need any specific stuff. But until next time, everybody, take care for now, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye bye for now.